Hello, I'm the Rawstrologer. Thanks for tuning in to another video. So this video, I want to introduce myself. Not just like, hi, I'm Samantha, I'm born here, and all that boring stuff. I want to introduce to you my personality based on all the intricacies of my natal chart. So we're going to get into the depths of my natal chart bit by bit, have a look, see if you have any of the same placements or aspects or anything that I have. We can talk about it. So, okay, let's get started. Here is my lovely natal chart, showing, as you can see, the placements of all the celestial bodies in terms of their houses and signs in which they reside. There are no aspects. I was born in Bethpage, New York, United States on March 17th, 1986 at 8:04 p.m. You can see here the sun was in Pisces at the very end of Pisces, which is why I'm so dang sensitive, especially to the emotions of others and therefore the general feeling in the atmosphere wherever I am and even after I leave. I tend to absorb the feelings and emotions of others around me, which meditation helps with a little bit. I avoid certain situations because I know there's going to be way too many different energies flowing around, which I'm susceptible to, such as situations that involve people I don't like or large groups that have too few people that I know. As a matter of fact, I like small groups because I can control the energy better. If I have plans with a friend and they invite others along that I don't necessarily know, I'll cancel if I feel comfortable enough. But if it's something that I really want to do, I'll grin and bear it, but I'll be absolutely fuming inside. So people who know this about me are often considerate, but some aren't. And it's then when I start to believe I'm not truly a priority to them, or they just don't enjoy the dynamic of being one-to-one with me, which are very Piscean thoughts. I'm super sensitive and I take things very personally. Okay, so Pisces are also connected to the unseen world. So sometimes I feel like I can see things that others can't, but I've not truly accessed the psychic faculties that all Pisces are apparently born with. I've never seen any spiritual beings or anything in that realm. But when it comes to my intuition, it is so strong that it's forced me to totally uproot my life when I was on certain paths, extremely inconveniently and painfully so. My Piscean intuition is a gift and a curse, and I'm learning to never ignore it. So dedicating my life for the past few years to honoring my strangely intense intuition has made me less popular. Definitely, my popularity has decreased significantly, but it will ensure me that I will never have extensive periods of mysterious misery again for the rest of my life, nor will I experience intuition-fueled breakdowns that make me realize that I'm on the wrong path. The very end of the fifth house. So there's something theatrical about my expression, which I've been told by many people, and not only people who've chosen to misunderstand me. There's a focus on children here, and I do happen to be an elementary school teacher where I express my creativity through eliciting new information. The sun is so close to the sixth house in my tropical chart, so the sixth house may have some influence on the essence of my personality in terms of what a perfectionist I truly am about the very few things I care about extremely deeply. My moon and sun square off as the moon is in Gemini. Here is why I prefer to solve my problems through communication rather than alone. As my friend puts it, I'm an outside processor. I like to run things by a few close, trusted loved ones before taking action to resolve. I also need help sorting through my emotions, as I can't always recognize what and why they are, so that I can later articulate them clearly and intellectually. The moon also falls at the tail end of my eighth house, likely accounting for my deep interest in both the occult and earth-based spirituality since I was super young, as well as my deeply intense dreams that I wake up from every night numerous times. Libra is on the first house cusp here, also known as my rising sign, which makes me initially come across to others as friendly, easygoing, and attractive, hopefully. When I first come into contact with someone or something, aesthetic appeal is innately and instinctively important to me, for better or worse. I did have one astrologer once tell me that as a Libra rising, I should be thinner. I was like, I guess. but I am thin-ish in the grand scheme. And plus, I should be way fatter because I really, really put the food away. My rising sign in Libra is probably why I'm an extremely diplomatic person. I see all sides of every story, and I can understand why people do exactly what they do. Friends often come to me for emotional support when they feel they've been wronged. Once I hear the story and I know all the details available to me, no matter what, I can see 100% of both sides of the story automatically. So I've learned to use every bit of self-control in order to not like automatically explain away the other party's motivations for doing what they did. Because when the shoe's been on the other foot, I've certainly registered that action as my thoughts and feelings being totally dismissed by the person I was seeking emotional support from. Basically, it's just a never-ending pattern of me seeing and understanding every side. But when it comes to my own times of feeling wronged, I've been working on standing my ground and my point of view for the past few years and just saying to hell with the other person's reasoning. It's felt amazing. Having the very intense and regenerative Pluto in my first house likely has much more impact than my rising sign. However, Pluto in the first house probably means that the Libra rising appeal fades quickly before people are then intimidated by me and sense a deep intensity emitting from me in a very Scorpio-like way. I do often get the feeling from many people that they're put off by me before knowing anything about me, and this may be why, to my knowledge, the only people who are actively intimidated by me on the regular are men, which they should be. Anyway, Pluto's in its domicile in Scorpio here, so that must intensify its effect in my first house. Uranus is in harmony with my first house cusp, meaning I have unique self-expression. It's also why my views are untraditional and socially progressive, yet I'm flexible and willing to change if I'm convinced of some other viewpoint. This also adds to my fantastic intuition. This is also why I have a variety of friends from many different cultures and backgrounds, and why I sometimes gravitate toward people who may be considered eccentric or even ones who've been excluded by society. Libra being my rising sign means Venus is the ruler of my chart. So I'm a very Venusian person. I hope I'm saying that word right. My life is ruled by my feelings, beauty, and sensual pleasures. That's no lie. Venus does fall in Aries, however, its detriment, weakening its power. Venus in Aries causes me to fall into infatuation super hard, and then it just dies out as quickly as it started. I will never forget the most intense and memorable Venus in Aries experience that ever happened to me, or thing that I did. You be the judge. So it happened when I was in 8th grade. I had a huge crush on a boy in my German class. So I was on the phone with my best friend. I was in my bedroom. We're talking about this boy. I was so excited. We were going to plan to hang out with him. And like we had a whole scheme where we were going to like meet up with him. And I was so excited. I was jumping on my friend, just jumping on my my bed, just at the like sheer happiness this crush had brought to me. But suddenly, as I'm jumping on my bed, mid-conversation, the crush, I just feel it like leave my body. It was just gone. And I just like deflated onto my bed. And I told my best friend, I don't like him anymore. Just like that. It was like somebody blew out the fire. That was the most intense, probably most quintessential Venus and Aries thing that had ever happened to me. So yeah, anyway, Venus also falls smack into my 6th house, which is probably why most of my serious relationships had been with someone who started out as a coworker. Speaking of the 6th house, depending on what kind of chart we draw, I've potentially got a 6th house pile up there. Venus is definitely there, and the Sun and Mercury may be interpreted there as well because of how far into the 5th house they are. This probably equates to all of my health problems. I've had vague, hard to diagnose health issues throughout my entire life. There are a lot of hard, disharmonious aspects to my 6th house, presenting challenges and obstacles when it comes to both my health and my work life. Speaking of aspects, my chart is dominated by squares. So challenges that need to be overcome dominate my life in various ways rather than just flowing good luck. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 T-squares, both fully mutable, both lacking an earth sign, specifically Virgo, as the missing leg, if you will. This means I'm constantly looking for mental stimulation and I'm very easily bored. My nervous system never tends to really take a rest. Appropriate channels, usually in the form of mental challenges, tend to put this T-square in its place, or these T-squares in their place, and bring discipline to my overall energy. I have Mars in Sagittarius in the 3rd house. I am 100% living my best Mars in Sagittarius life. I live and work abroad in Shanghai, China, and I've been traveling extensively for the past 10 years. It gives me a bit of stress to do so since I'm an over-planner, but since I started traveling, I can't stop, and if I can't do it, I feel completely stagnant. I've actually got 3 planets in my 3rd house, Mars, Uranus, and Neptune. Uranus there makes for unpredictable communication. It also shakes up my work life being conjunct to Mars, adding a touch of instability. It's squaring my Mercury in Pisces and opposing my moon in Gemini do not help the communication factor. I've been known to say exactly what's on my mind, both tactlessly and tactfully, depending on the situation, and always unpredictably for the party involved. I value communication above most things, and if I'm limited in being able to do so, it's always found other, more sneaky ways to come out and clear the air. I have Saturn in the 2nd house, which has been teaching me a lot about my personal wealth over the years. I budget extremely carefully, but I'm somewhat frivolous, and I almost always feel like I don't have enough. Luckily, I haven't truly struggled financially in years, but during the times that I did, I held on to every cent for dear life, and I likely came across as unnecessarily selfish to those who didn't understand. When I'm enjoying comfort, I'm sometimes very generous, as I enjoy high quality items and experiences, and I want my loved ones to be able to enjoy them as well. 4 out of 5 of my inner planets are in water and fire signs. Also, 4 out of 5 of them are in signs that are mutable. My chart really lacks earth signs, minus Neptune in Capricorn, which most likely doesn't have a huge effect on me on a personal level. This leads me to crave and for my soul to feel comforted by earthy activities. Gardening, meditating, dancing, financial planning, all of those things help me to feel grounded and to balance my energy. Whenever I'm feeling upset or stressed, I naturally gravitate toward learning and perfecting different K-pop dance routines. I find also that emphasizing my 2nd house Saturn and focusing on it really plants my feet firmly on the ground. Now, none of the actual celestial bodies are in earth signs except for one, but the symbolic north node is in Taurus in my chart, which is an earth sign, indicating that my soul's destination is the path to comfort, financial stability, and a stable home life. As I grow older, the more I definitely feel comfortable in grounding myself. The more I create stability, the more everything seems to fall into place. It being in the 7th house indicates that my most important lessons in this lifetime are to be learned through partnerships, especially romantic, and through marriage. Finding balance between me and other people is what helps me grow, and I can absolutely confirm that feels spot on because I often don't know how to balance my needs with the needs of others in my life, personally and professionally. And that notion has been highlighted several times throughout the years. My midheaven is in Cancer, so I'm best suited for a job where I can use my intuition and be of service to others. I'm a teacher, so I'm able to do some of that, but I'd much rather be an astrologer. There we have it. That's the Rawstrologer in an astrological nutshell. Thanks for watching. Let's talk about your placements. Contact me. I'd love to do that. And if you have any of the same placements as I do, how about you let me know your experience? And if you agree with what I said in terms of your own life and what you've seen in your own life thus far, or if you disagree, I'm happy to hear, I would actually love to hear your angle on it and your experience with it. So, thank you. Mwah.